Hello everybody, this is D King Bay, your book granny here with not one, not two, but three copies of The Night Ends with Fire. So you know that means a triple battle. We have one from Goldsboro. We have one from like any bookstore, like you can get it any of your local bookstores like Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. You could also get it from Amazon. And we also have the Fairyloot version. Okay, so let's get this started. Let me take them down so we can see them all, and we'll compare them all. I'll always keep the Goldsboro over here. I'll keep the one from the local bookstore, book chains in the middle, and we will keep Fairyloot over here, okay? This is my right, but probably you all's left. I don't know how this shows. I might have to look at that one of these days. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Okay, so first let's look at the covers and compare them. Now I'm going to put them up here. Hopefully you can see them all. I might have to take pictures to show you them together, so you get a good picture of it, right? So here goes the front covers. The Goldsboro one, I believe, is most like the original cover. So let me show you this up first. There we go, the Goldsboro. And I believe this is most like the original cover. Yes, it is, if I remember correctly. If there is a change, it's very, very small. Oh, they use foiling on there. So that's what makes it different, is they use foiling on it. Gold foiling. I don't know if you can tell, but there is gold foiling on there. Little dragon on there doing his little dragon business. Here goes one from the bookstore. And I am sorry, but this is by KX Song. Did I say that? I don't think I said that. But anyway, I'm sorry about that. This is by KX Song. So this is from, you know, like a regular bookstore. Because sometimes you can get these special editions, not these special, you can get special editions from like bookstores too. So you don't always have to, I know a lot of people may not want to have to get their books from overseas. This one's Fairyloot. This came in their box. I will say that the Goldsboro one, it came in my sci-fi fantasy subscription, but they still had some on their site at the time of filming. Bookstores, I checked them out, and the bookstores still have these, like Barnes & Noble, stuff like that. They still have this one. And Fairyloot, since it was in their box, was a July box, you'll have to get that one used. So, yep, just letting you know that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the Goldsboro one all the way around. And again, I said this is the one most like the original cover, except it has beautiful foiling on it. Yeah, it's some nice foiling on there. It's the UK cover, I believe. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm remembering. Okay. Now let's look at the one from the bookstore. It's lovely too. And I haven't quite figured out what that Phoenix, so I'm gonna have to read this, even though I did want to read it because it's the Mulan story again. But I'm gonna have to read it because I'm so curious of what the Phoenix has to do with anything. Because that Phoenix, he's on all of them in one way or another. And again, yes, this story is based off the Mulan story. There we go. And this one's Fairyloot. There we go. Got our little dragon. You know, I love a dragon. I will say that I do like the Fairyloot cover the best, the Fairyloot dust jacket the best. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some edging, okay? Here's Goldsboro. And I'm going to show you all the edges of the Goldsboro, okay? Take it around and you see it. It has our little dragon going around. So you know I like the dragon. He makes me happy. Always love a dragon. And it's the same dragon that's on the front. See, right there. So same dragon. And I like the back. And that's how I realized that I had the same book from two different places. It says never trust a dragon. Yeah. And here goes our edging again, so you can see it again. Again, this is Goldsboro. And they did have some of these on their site at the time of filming, okay? Here goes the one from the bookstore. Give you full views of that. It's outside. Let's get this edging. This is a little heavy book, I'm gonna tell you that. It condenses stuff. I'm gonna have to look and see if the print is smaller on this, because as you'll see, this is a thinner book. So they may have made the font larger or gave more spaces in these too, since they are, you know, thicker books. And they do that to accommodate, that's what I've said before, to accommodate for the artwork on the sides. Quite often, this one's Fairyloot, the publishers or the printers for the books will make the font larger and give you more space between the lines so that the book will be thicker so that the artwork will look better. And I am not angry for that because I buy these for art's sake quite often, right? There we go. And see, you see part of dragon tail on there. Okay, again, this one is Fairyloot. So that's our outside covers. I will say I like this cover the best, the Fairyloot one. And then I really like this Phoenix over here, even though I'm not sure what the Phoenix has anything to do with it, but all three covers are amazing. All the dust jackets are amazing. So let's take off these dust jackets for the edging. I don't know who's my favorite. I mean, this one you can actually see he's a dragon down there, right? So it might be this one for the edging. And then you got the dragon tail. I will say this one's my least favorite, but I don't know. I like them all. They're all nice, so you can't go wrong. So I'm not gonna pick. I don't have to pick. Okay, so let's take off these dust jackets. Okay, the one from the regular bookstore does not have an alternative dust jacket, so I'm just gonna put him over on the side, okay? So let's see. The one from Goldsboro also does not have an alternative dust jacket, and they usually don't. So I'm gonna put him over on the side. And then let's look at the alternative dust jacket for Fairyloot, which they do have an alternative jacket. So let's look at her. Sometimes they do an alternative jacket, and sometimes, an alternative cover, and sometimes they just have artwork. So there we go. That's nice, huh? Okay. Okay, so let's put this over there. Okay, ready? Hardback time, Goldsboro, da 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 da. That's pretty, huh? Let's look at all the sides of it. It's orange. That's black, the dragon and the katana are black. I like this cover, that's nice. And it looks really good with the edging. I like this cover a lot. I like it, I like it. Here, let me set this down so he can have his time to shine. This is from the bookstore. There we go. I don't think there's anything on the back, yeah. And I love this, never trust a dragon. It's telling you right there. All right, this is from the bookstore. And here goes Fairyloot. This is the one I got from the box for my monthly subscription. That is so lovely. I will say for me, the hardback covers, the Fairyloot is my favorite one. And again, I will put pictures up there. If it's not looking good, we'll find out when I'm editing. If you see me just plop some pictures up there, then you'll know, okay? Okay, let's see. What is next? Okay, let's look inside the books. Again, this is my favorite. This is my second favorite, but I love both of these. These are both really amazing. This one's Fairyloot and this one's Goldsboro. They're both really nice. So you can't go wrong with any three of these books, actually. Not for one of them can you go wrong with. Okay, now let's go to the inside, all right? The end page. This one is Goldsboro. And the back end page, I believe is the same if I remember correctly. I like that dragon on there. Here we go. It's our picture of our dragon on there. That's the back end page. Okay, now let's look at our local bookstore one. Here we go. And I believe the background's the same. Get back to it. Yep. There we go. This is the bookstore. Your regular chain bookstore. And here goes the Fairyloot one. Oops, I still have the card in there from Fairyloot. Fairyloot, 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 Fairyloot. There we go. That's the end pages. I will say I usually don't like character art. So I'm still usually, that character art's really nice on Fairyloots, but I just love the dragon on here better. So, but they're both really nice. That character art on there is very beautiful. They did a good job on the character art. Okay. And that's the front and the back. They have different ones for the front and the back. There we go. And I love that they actually did do something different. This one in the Goldsboro one, I believe, it's the one in the original book too. So yeah. Okay, so that is that. Okay, up next, let's look on the goodies on the inside. Okay, now with Goldsboro, you get your signature, actual signature, and your numbered edition. I think they only do 2,000. How many do they do? Yeah, they do 2,000, and it's actually signed by the author. I don't think they even have an author letter. Let me look in here real quick at the one from the bookstore. No, it does not have any kind of author letter in it or anything like that. So nope on that one. And then inside the Fairyloot, there's an author letter in there. Let me get to the author letter. And it has that electronic signature. There we go. There we go. So with Fairyloot, you get an author signature, but it is electronic, and they do have the letter in there, okay? And do they have an extra chapter in here? Sometimes Fairyloot, yes, they do. At the back of the book for the Fairyloot one, they do have annotations. So that's also something that's in the Fairyloot book that is not inside of the other two books. Well, let me go check to make sure. That was Fairyloot. Let me make sure. I might be lying on them, y'all. I might be lying on them. Let's see. Let's see. No, I don't see it. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, nope, not in that one. Let me see in this one. I don't think they did, though. No, I don't see any in this one too either. So I forgot to look at the font size, so let's do that right now. Oh my goodness, y'all, why you let me forget that? Okay, I'm looking at Goldsboro right now. Let me compare it to it's a little bit, they're almost exactly the same size. I would say the one I got from the bookstore is a tiny bit smaller font, just a little bit smaller, not very much smaller. But what the difference is quite, I mean, I can really tell, is the thickness of the paper. The thickness of the paper from the bookstore one I have is thinner. It's a thinner paper. It's not a good quality paper. So I will say that. And yeah. Okay, I wish you guys could feel it. The paper from the bookstore is extra smooth and quite a bit thinner than the thickness of the paper. This is close. I won't say it's cardstock, but this is a thicker paper. Let me check here. And Fairyloot uses the thicker paper too. And I do prefer the thicker paper to that thinner paper because the thinner paper will tear quicker. So that is a difference in the quality. So the paper in the special editions from the specialty shops has a better quality paper, okay? So that's Goldsboro, and this is Fairyloot. Now that is it. Bye-bye.